everyone. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. How are you guys? It's Saturday. I am so sorry that I wasn't online today. I was actually spending the day cleaning this room, organizing, getting new lamps, getting stuff more situated in this room. I sort of threw together this office very haphazardly, or this studio, and I'm trying to make things better for you guys. So I'm adding more ambiance in the background. Welcome, my lamp. Welcome to my channel. Okay, you guys, we have to talk because I've been in a rabbit hole literally all day. Last night, so many of you guys joined me and we did a Fundy watch party, which was a blast. And later tonight, we'll do it again. I'm with my son and my husband's going out. So after I get my son into bed, probably around 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, we're going to do some watching of Priscilla and David's wedding. I might throw in some of the Rodrigueses who we're going to talk about right now. But this family we need to talk about because they are widely known if you follow the Fundy world. But this family is a family they're trying to be the next Duggars or Platts. They hobnob with the Platts from Welcome to Plattsville. And they're about to be married into sort of the Duggar family because their oldest daughter, Nuri, who's 20, is engaged to Nathan Keller, who's over there. Wait, over there. Down there. This guy down here. Can I get over there? I can't. Oh, I can't get past his head. Isn't that guy's head hilarious? In the corner, there's Nathan. Nathan Keller is Anna Duggar's younger brother. He is engaged to Nuri, who is 20 years old. Nathan is 23. They began courting this summer. I can show you the video real quick. And then I'm going to tell you all about this family because there is so much to unpack here. They have a lot in common with the Duggars and the Platts, but they also have maybe an alarming coincidental thing in common with the Turpins. Yeah, the family in California, you know them? Yeah, it's kind of weird. Okay, so this is Nathan and Nuri.
And we're excited to announce that we are now officially courting.
Yeah, I'm so blessed by Nathan and his just godly desires, and he's just really been getting to know him has just been such a blessing to me and an encouragement. He just helped me spiritually, and we're excited to enter this new phase of life and look forward to seeing what God has for the future, and just ultimately putting him first in everything that we do. And so I'm privileged that Nathan is putting God first in everything that we do.
So she talks a lot like Priscilla, so she'll be the perfect mate for Nathan. Nathan Keller is the younger brother. Now, interestingly, Anna Duggar has 3 siblings that have left this world. She's got an older brother who named David, David Keller, who actually left the quiverful world. He's divorced. She has an older sister who is divorced, and she has a sister who had a baby out of wedlock. So, oh my God, Anna Duggar's family has, I think, 6 or 5 kids, and 3 of them have already left the world. And her family actually, her older brother David wanted her to leave Josh. Well, now they're going to just, Nathan's going to follow in Anna's footsteps and move back and stay in the quiverful world that they are a part of. All right, so this is Nuri, 20 years old. Now, who are the Rodrigueses, you guys? I can't even stand it. Who are they? Whoops. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. This is the Rodrigues family. They are the grifters of the grifties. They are the poor man's Duggars. They are running from, allegedly, CPS right now because somebody reported them in September because they were concerned about their children's small frames, let's just say. This is David, and this is Mrs. Jill Rodrigues, who has a lot of opinions and is kind of a monster, according to Reddit. And she also is very opinionated and very outspoken. And the best part is she shills plexus. Right. Okay. So here's the brood. They have 13 kids total. They're all very thin, very thin. Even the little ones look slightly malnourished. The daughters here, this is their connection. They were actually with the Platts this week. There they are hanging out with actually Hosanna and Lydia. And all of the girls are, of the dark-haired girls are from the Rodrigues family. And they're all extremely thin. There they are with Hosanna. And there is Mrs. Jill in the middle. Now this family's different. Jill loves to wear a ton of makeup, like massive amounts of 80s caked on, thick, dark, black eyeliner, going to a Poison concert kind of hair, and her girls all sort of dress the same, and they wear gobs of makeup. And even though they dress modestly, they actually wear very form-fitting outfits, which is quite different than what you'll see with the Duggars. There they are with Lydia. There's Lydia again. Now here's Nathan. This is the brother. Now, so this is how they're going to become royalty. These grifters have been trying to become famous for a very long time. They have a band, check. It's like the Quiverful checklist. Band, check. Or 1 million kids, check. Touring of band, check. Grifty businesses, check. Issues with CPS, check. Being incredibly poor because of all the kids they have, check. There's a lot of issues with this family. Being extremely conservative, hanging out with Michael and Debbie Pearl, check. So this is Nathan, this is her brother, Anna's brother, and they are like over the moon because now they're gonna have ties to the Duggars, I'm assuming. They would love to become royalty, but they're like, I don't know. Even to the Duggars, the Rodrigueses are kind of, I don't know. They're not good enough. I can already tell. Here they are. They say Nathan is a Floridian, so he was hoping for some snow while here. He got his wish. Nathan was no guy on earth that would have filled the shoes of our first son-in-law as well as you. Nathan is kind and caring and godly and compassionate to our upcoming dread of losing Nuri. Like, cue the words for the fundies. Compassionate, godly, kind. Over the moon. There they are. They look like the old people that have like the fork. They're really that small. Like, they're tiny people, humans. Here they are. Yep, that's right. They sent them out to hang out with Michael and Debbie Pearl. Yes! Michael and Debbie Pearl, the famous training up the child lunatics that believe in blanket training and using a PVC pipe on your children. That Michael and Debbie Pearl. They sent Nuri and their other daughter to, it says, it was an emotional day. We went to No Greater Joy Ministries, and our 2 oldest girls got settled at Michael and Debbie Pearl and Debbie Pearl's house. We ate at NGGJ and then went and sang at our outreach ministry, The Door. Then we said our goodbyes, sniff, sniff. This is the first time saying goodbye to our children for this long. And they're going to stay there for a while. Farewell, Nuri and Kaylee. We love you, and you look forward to seeing you in a few weeks. And there they are with Debbie, and there they are with the grossest man on earth, Michael Pearl. And look at how they're just like smiling. Yay, my mom's leaving me with a man that instructs people to use PVC pipes on their kids. I can't wait to spend 2 weeks with him. Yay! They also recently moved. Yeah, that's right. They recently moved this fall after they received a CPS complaint in September. People in, and I'll get into that in a second, but within a few months of getting that complaint in September in West Virginia, they hightailed it out of there and they left for Ohio. Who are these people? Well, the Rodrigues family have several ways in which they serve their Lord. They live in West Virginia, not anymore, and are starting a full-color, high-quality printing ministry, not anymore, because they moved to Ohio. The ministry will help churches and missionaries with gospel material. The Rodrigues family is currently traveling on deputation to raise support for their family and ministry. So they travel all over the world, all over the country, and they David prints off like smiley stickers and pamphlets for families, and they give them to churches, and then they go to churches and they sing. So, you know, they're your average grifting family. They're very musical. They're not only, they travel to present they not only travel to present their printing ministry work, but they also travel to provide godly Christian music. Their 13 children sing with their parents, and they all play instruments. Camp meetings, revival services, missions, conferences, etc. All are opportunities for the Rodrigues family that would love to come and provide music for your church. They have a zillion, 100,000 million kids. David actually didn't grow up as a fundie. He apparently grew up in the real world, and he got a calling from God that he needed to be saved, and then he decided to become a fundie. He actually was never the same, and God put someone in his path to invite him to a good Bible-believing Baptist church. He grew in the Lord and served God in Rochester, New York, and he prayed for a woman. He prayed fervently for a wife to serve alongside him. Jill came into his life after their marriage. They have served faithfully in various churches in New York State. Yes. Jill actually grew up as a fundie. They were very devout Christian parents. Jill was very young. Her parents began to teach her on her need of salvation. One night at the dinner table, when Jill was only 4 years old, she began to cry, and her parents then wanted to be saved. Jill clearly remembers that night and how her daddy carried her up to the stairs, and her mom closed behind and they led her to the Lord. They were homeschooled, like personal, like renegades of the homeschool. The homeschooling their girls until graduation. Only their girls. Interesting. During Jill's senior and junior year of high school, she worked hard and also obtained a cosmetology license, which could explain her heavy use of black eyeliner and hairspray. She may have not been back. Jill officially met David with the intent of courtship in January of 1997, when she was still in high school. She was in her senior year of high school, and they are 6 years apart. So she was 18 and David was 24. Creepy. He literally found a girl in high school. So they got married. They enjoy traveling with her husband on deputation singing, and also working with her husband, helping in the print shop ministry. She loves her hairspray. Here's their children. They have Nuri, Nate, Timothy, and she's had a million of them. Kaylee, Renee, Philip, Samuel, Gabriel, Tessie, Hannah, Olivia, Sadie, Sophia, and Janessa. Janessa was her last born child, and actually has some medical issues that Miss Creepazoid over here thinks she's prayed away, which I doubt is true. Anyways, now here's the biggest news. Now, Nathan proposed to Nuri this fall in November, and they were thrilled, and they had to post it everywhere. Like, they have a video on YouTube. She's got Instagram lives where she's going live, so everyone knows that her daughter is going to marry someone with connections to the Duggars. There they are, Nuri and Nathan. They like to go, this was one of my favorite photos. They're really into modesty clothing. So they took their kids for a modest beach extravaganza. These poor kids. Yeah, that's girls wearing skirts at the beach. This is again when they're sending them. So they sent their girls to hang out with Debbie and Michael Pearl. They are serving there with making a difference for Christ and the eternity. Here are some photos that were sent to me. We love you, girls, and Mr. and Mrs. Pearl. Ew. They like to sing and hang out with the Pearls, too. So they went over to Door Ministry, which is run by Michael and Debbie Pearl, and they sang there and brought their band. They also traveled to Minnesota, and I was irritated that I didn't get to meet them. They were at the Mall of America, you guys, and I missed them. I missed the Rodrigues. They also did this, which is super creepy. They took their 2 teenage daughters, Kaylee and Renee, to Burger King for dessert and a surprise. And they gave their daughters bracelets so that they will save their wedding kiss and all their wedding day stuff, and they will be pure until then. And the girls got these bracelets to remind them not to go pokey poke with the men. And there they are with their bracelets, looking like they're going to the prom. She's really against the LGBTQ plus movement. She actually thinks it's wrong for boys trying to have to, I'm tired of watching my boys and husbands having to constantly look away. I am done apologizing for my stand on this. It is right, and modesty is wrong. Women dressing like men is wrong. No pants. No pants. Yeah. Now, this is the interesting part here. So this is sort of like my crash course into them. She's crazy. Jill is like, she's the queen of using a zillion emojis. She's very expressive. She's got really thick black eyeliner. They say they're in a band, but I'm not going to lie. Their music is terrible. And this is how she explained. So back in September, now this is the part where I'll tell you why there's this rumor. Well, it's not even a rumor. If you look at the photos of the kids are very, very small. Extremely small. And very thin. All of them. Even the littles. And so people that follow the Fundy world have long been concerned about the Rodrigues children being malnourished and perhaps the family isn't feeding them enough. Now, there's this obsession in the Quiverful world and those that follow Bill Gothard that girls be extremely thin because outward beauty and not being fat is super important to Bill Gothard. And it's like a way, because it's a way for women to honor their husbands, which could be why she keeps her daughters so thin, and she has a lot of daughters. So there's been haters that have been following them because Jilly puts everything out there. They actually got CPS called on them, and they were living in West Virginia, and she says, "You see, when my husband and I were teenagers, we were both super skinny." Now, this is the part where I'll say it kind of reminds me of the Turpins. And there's been a lot of discussion on the correlation between the Turpins and the Rodrigues, because the Turpins would often move. They moved multiple times over the years. They had 13 kids. Their kids were all very thin, very tiny. Now, the biggest difference here is they're not keeping their kids at home with them. So like their son Timothy has already left. Nuri will be leaving. They're not doing that aspect of it, but there's this aspect of people believe that they might be starving them in the same way that the Turpins did. And people have called CPS on them multiple times, and there's this speculation and theory that they move around so frequently because they get a call from CPS and then they move on to the next state. So this is what happened in September. We both had very fast metabolism. We both ate well. We would gain weight slowly. If we only still had that problem. Our children take after us, tall and willowy. If anyone saw our grocery bill on a weekly basis, they would know how well our children are fed. However, in a day and age in America where obesity is becoming an increasing problem and children no longer play hard outdoors, our children are becoming the minority. Our pediatrician doctor regularly does well-checked visits on our children and finds them all in the range of normal with weight. Imagine that. No, we don't starve our children, and anyone that would do such a heinous thing belongs behind bars. The social workers could see through the accusations of the hateful people attacking our family. However, we have suffered at the hands of these two different times. So she's claiming that she's been called on CPS at least twice or 3 times. Both times it seemed a waste of time, and they were even at our home, and they agreed. They also agreed that continued future visits would be legally viewed as harassment. However, having them show up at my door rocked my world. I couldn't understand it. We try so hard to be the best and most diligent parents possible. And then she just like goes on and on and on and on and on. They went and checked in on their RV because they travel around in their RV. They live in this. And so anyways, there's this new law now. And so she's basically going to pray for them about Satan. And she's convinced that, Satan sent them and people need to stop worrying about her really thin kids. So there's this law in West Virginia now, that if you homeschool your children, they're trying to crack down on homeschooling. And this actually came from my friend over at No Longer Quivering. She did an article about this actually recently. They, in the state of West Virginia, because of the way that they're trying to crack down on homeschooling, if somebody has a child, to avoid the abuse and neglect that can happen when children don't have regular mandated reporters watching them on a daily basis, like in the public schools, if a family has a complaint by CPS, within, like, during a specific time frame, they are mandated to put their children into public school. And so even if the complaint didn't go out into fruition, and who knows what actually happened, she says that they closed their cases and didn't come back, but we have no idea if that's true, because these cases are closed and sealed because of children being involved. However, because of that law, it was only within a few months that they hightailed it out of West Virginia, and they are now living in Ohio, which has much more lax requirements for homeschooling. And this is similar to what other families have done when they've come up against the same thing. Michael and Debbie Pearl did the same thing. The Turpins did the same thing too when CPS was closing in on them. They would just hightail it out of there and move. And because they're so transient, they're able to avoid a lot of things, which puts their children at risk, which has a lot of people that follow them concerned. Whether or not it's true, it's hard to know, but we know that they hang out with Michael and Debbie Pearl, who are gross. We know that they have very thin kids, and we know that they have a lot of children, and they don't have a lot of money, according to them, which could mean they might not have enough money to feed their kids. I don't know. Anyways, the girls, they go out and they dress like this. It's awesome. But I mean, this is their daughter. She's just so tiny. I mean, that's a little girl. I mean, the kids are, their eyes are sunken in, their skin looks sort of gray, and they're very, very skinny, which is not typical for children. And if that little girl's like 4, she should still have some pudge there. And even there's her boys. They look very skinny and gaunt. And then they don't look gaunt or skinny at all. In fact, they look filled out and full. So it's hard to know. And this was the same excuse that the Turpins used as well, about how they were so skinny and they were so this. So did they move because of that? I don't know. Who knows? But it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility, because this is kind of what happens in this quiverful world. These people don't want any connection to the government. They don't want to be tied to anything. They don't want to have anyone watching what they're doing. They want complete freedom from everything. They want the benefits, the tax benefits, the non-exempt status. They want all of the benefits of modern day technology, but they don't want anyone interfering or telling them what to do. And that puts the children in these situations at risk. And then they follow practices by Michael and Debbie Pearl, which then makes people even more concerned about the children. So they are on YouTube. They have 2 different channels. Well, Timothy, their son, has one. Jill has a channel, and David has a channel. They are starting to make little videos and do like introductions, and they're trying to get like some sort of like show going. And that's why I want to introduce you to them, because they are so, they're connected to the Platts. They now have connections to the Duggars, and now they're trying to get a show in some capacity. They want the fame and the accolades. They have been pursuing it relentlessly, and they're also notorious for grifting. So we're going to do a lot more about this family. We're going to sort of incorporate them more onto the channel, because so many of you guys love the Fundy content, and I need more families to talk about. So because they are so public, let's start with the Rodrigueses. And I actually posted a bunch of photos on Instagram, and people were like, I was waiting for you to talk about the Rodrigueses. So we'll have more later tonight, probably around 9 Central. We're gonna do a watch party. We'll watch some Rodriguez stuff. We're gonna watch David and Priscilla's wedding. Join me for that. We had such a blast last night doing that. And make sure you bring your wine, your popcorn, and you get ready to laugh. All right? Before we go, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, as well as check out all of my social media down here. Subscribe over here if you haven't yet. And if you are looking for more of this great content, check out all the other videos on the channel. Bye, guys.